Thank you, Luciana, for reminding us. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. Thank you for your comment. 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 Let me go back to the class. But as you see, the essence, this is the real essence of this class. Some of us are used to this subject of purpose, but yet we do not understand who we are. And what this class is meant for you to do is to help you describe the real you. And to discover the real you, it begins from the point where this is where you can determine whether you are going to be a person of, of success or you will not be. This is where you will determine your pattern. This is where you determine your strength, your skills, your gifts. And these are the things that determine whether you're going to be a successful person or you will not be successful. These are the issues. So let's move on. Yeah, so what do you need to discover when you want to discover your personality? What do you need to discover? You need to discover your true self within you. And this is how to describe you. It is about your belief. It's about your values. It's about your personal identity, your strength, your endowment, your weakness. So when I say you should describe you, I'm not telling you to tell me what you do. Oh, I'm a lawyer. That's not me. Even though that's my practice, that's my profession, that is not me. If I say describe you, I'm talking about, then I'll say, oh, I'm a person of faith. I believe in God. I believe in excellence. I believe in positive values. I believe in capacity building. I love to add value to people, everyone. Then I'm describing me. Oh, I also love to talk. I'm a person that likes to disseminate knowledge. So I love to teach. I'm talking about my strength. I'm talking about my endowment. Another thing, if I'm describing myself, I can describe myself in terms of my endowments. I sing, I play the drums, I love to do things like that. Then you are describing yourself. You can also describe yourself in terms of your weakness. So these are the things that determine your personality. Self-discovery is a continuous thing. So I know that some of us will say, okay, um, I have I am like this, but you must understand that it is continuous. You say, oh, this is who I am. So because you are like this today, does not mean you'll be like this tomorrow. And so you must understand that self-discovery is a continuous thing. You continue to know yourself more and more and discover better things about yourself. It's a lifetime path. So when I was younger, there were certain things I knew about myself. As I grew up, my personality changed. I acquired more skills. I began to achieve more. I began to do things I couldn't do before. So if you knew me when I was younger, it would be a different me you know now. Why? There's been growth. There has been development. Do you understand? So it's a lifetime task. So here I am again with this question, and I want to ask you, who are you? And I'm asking myself, who am I? And I want you to ask yourself, who am I? Ask yourself, who am I? So this question relates to your real essence and what gives you ultimate fulfillment in life. And so I want each of you in this meeting now to begin to look into yourself and say, what will give me ultimate fulfillment in life? What do I want the world to identify me as? And I'm not just talking about motivational bogus words. I'm talking about you sitting down to say, okay, what do I believe? What do I want to be remembered for? What are the things, what are my values? What are the standards that my life will stand to? So this is where you define your personality. So when we see a person like Martin Luther King, I don't know how many of you know Martin Luther King. If you do know Martin Luther King Jr., what is he known for today? What does his name say? Can someone help me? Martin Luther King, what does his name say to you? I need it in the chat room. Revolution. Oluwatobiloba, thank you. So you can say, yes, revolution. He didn't, he was, and but his revolution was based on what? Yes, he was a change maker, absolutely. But it was based on what? I can't get you. I can't get you. I need you. It was black and white equality. Thank you, Bashir. It's basic. He was known as, he was a great leader, was a peaceful leader. What he was advocating was not just freedom thinking. He was thinking about the fact that black and white need to be equal. And that was the value. He was fighting against racism. Thank you, Belu. Thank you. That's what he's known for. Now, so the question is for you, what do you want to be known for? What's your value? He was an activist. Thank you, Kasim. What do you want to be known for? I want you to pen it down in one word. What are your standards? What will be your standard? So what was the standard of Martin Luther King? Equality is the standard. Fairness, justice. Those are things he stood for, and those are also values. So for you, if you would describe yourself, what would you say your values are? If you go for an interview today, you are invited for a job interview, and you're told, tell me about yourself, what would you say? Some of you will jump into saying you are from Ekiti. I am from Ekiti State. My mother is. That's not the question. So when you are asked who are you, it's about what do you stand for. What they want to see is a description of your personality, your belief, your standards. That's what they're looking out for. And that number one becomes whether it becomes something that determines whether you be considered for a job offer or not. If you go around talking about, I read this, I read that, they saw that in your CV before inviting you for the interview. That's not what they want to hear. They want to hear you talk about your person. So if you cannot describe you, then that means there's still something wrong with your personality. You do not know yourself. That's what it means. That means you do not know yourself. Okay, so let's go on. I am expecting that right now you are penning down these things. What is it about you? What is it about you that needs to improve or that you need to be able to describe? Let's start from there. So, number two, why are you here? Why have you been created? Let me tell you, psychology over the years has shown that people who are prone to to people who are prone to suicide, depression, often stems from inability to an absence of an understanding of yourself, an absence of an essence for living. But how do you find this answer? How do you get the answer to this question? Why am I here? What that question relates to is about what problems are you created to solve? You must understand that God who created you, because whether we want to look at whether you are Christian or Muslim or whatever it is that you are, you must understand, and I know that we all believe that we were created. And even science that talks about evolution still tells us that the evolution started by a big bang. The big bang was started by who? So no matter how much you try to deny the existence of God, God is there. And so if you're created by God, the question is, why did he create you? So what's your purpose? You are not an accident. So how do you know? Why did he create you? What did he create you for? Even if you come in, you are from a dysfunctional family, maybe your parents are separated, things are not working the way you expect it to, or thing you also or you don't even have any family member, maybe you're just living with a very distant family member as far as you know, or you are even adventure, because I have worked with young people for so long. I know that some people will tell you that I don't even know my father because my mom said she did not know who impregnated her. Yes, it's life. Face it. So does that mean that you are a person without direction? Does that mean you have no purpose for living? The answer is no. So what you need to do is sit down inside and say, what am I? Is it about a job? Is it just for you to work, go to get a job, have some money, and then from the money you have, you can live large, travel abroad, have to get married. Yes, get married. That one is interesting. Or at least have relationship, and then So all of that put together is my question to you. And how do you find that out? Is to understand that God is a God of purpose. And God doesn't do things for any reason or without reason. So it means that there is a reason He created you, and there is a problem you have been created for. We will now look at how you will now discover how do you know the problem you have been created to solve. It's about the next question you're going to answer. You'll be able to find out the problem you're created to solve by knowing your unique competencies and gifts. So for you to be able to answer the question of what problems you're created to solve, you need to ask yourself, what are my unique competencies? Okay, so I am here now. What can I do? What do I have capacity to do? What are my natural talents? What do I do with ease that I don't need anybody? What do I do without stress? What skills have I acquired? Not the soft skills, hard skills. What can I do with my hands? What can I do? What did you study in the university? Yes, that's relevant because they are part of your acquired skills or knowledge. As I'm asking this question, what I expect you to do is to be noting it down and be trying to answer it for yourself. Because this is a practical class and we will go there. You need to be able to say, this is who I am at the end of this class. That's our intention. You must be able to describe yourself better than what you knew before you joined this class. So be answering the question, what are your gifts? Can you sing? Can you compose? Can you handle IT? What skills do you have? It's raining here. Maybe, can you still hear me? Please, I need you to flow with me. Let me know if you can still hear me. Raji, sorry, I can't take
Yes,
your
ma'am, we
question
can
now.
hear
We'll
you,
take your
ma'am.
class later. We'll take your question later. Yes. Okay, thank you. You can talk to me on the chat room. Just tell me. And then afterwards, we will say, God bless you. Thank you for your response. Okay. So, what are your personal capacities? Let me go back to that. How do you engage solving problems? So I know the least aged person amongst us here is 15 years old. Some of us are more than even the age category we teach, I know. But at least from your 15th year, you must have been facing one problem or the other. So how do you solve problems? Think about it. The challenges that come your way, how have you been able to solve them? What gifts do you have? I need you to write them down. Then go on. Once you are able to discover the gifts you have, then you know that your gifts were put in you so that you can solve problems. And then you are equipped with capacity to solve problems based on the purpose that you are created for, the reason why you are alive. The essence, what you will do that will make you easily prosper is the problems you are able to solve. And then you will know the problems you are able to solve by the gifting and the competencies, the unique competencies that you have had naturally or you have been able to acquire over the years, or your capacities. That is why in your CV, one of the things you are expected to put, they will ask you, what are your competencies? Whoever wants to employ you wants to know what can you do. So until you can answer that question of what can you do, you have not started living, because nobody will add value to you. Nobody will give you any value, will pay you anything if you cannot add value to them. Great. So now, if you have been able to answer these three questions, then the issue then will be, why then do people have poor self-image? Why do people not understand that who they are and what they have been created for, and then what are their competencies. And I'll just run through them as we have seen in the slide already. Some of the major reasons why people suffer from poor self-image and not even having a right proper understanding of themselves, low self-esteem, why people suffer from this problem is basically because number one, they have self-sabotaging thoughts. What do I mean by self-sabotaging thoughts? Anytime you find yourself always pulling yourself down, you are the one that will judge yourself and say, I'm not beautiful enough. Or they tell you, how about doing this? I don't think anybody will employ me. What do I need? You know, some of us, by our culture and environment, you have been used to even saying so many negative things about yourself. You say so many negative things about yourself that to the point that you begin to lose value. You do not see an image of a good person. So you say, I'm not good enough for this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty. I'm not talented enough. You always just see why you are not good enough. They are self-sabotaging. And anyone, if you engage in that, you are by yourself pulling yourself down. And it means that you are not likely to be able to make progress in that. You must understand that everybody has their unique competencies. There is not one person that was created without any gift. No, not one. Now, another thing that make people have poor self-image is negative childhood experiences. And this can be so true for so many of us because the background where you grew up from has a strong influence on who you become. And that's why family life is critical. If you must be married, you must be ready to commit to raising a family that is good, that will help your children, that will not make your children suffer. Negative childhood experiences where maybe you grew up in a family that is poor and you don't have resources and you're so used to the fact that within the family your parents were struggling to meet your needs, and so you just have that mindset that you are always before. You have the mindset that you always before. These are negative images that will keep you under, and you must constantly fight. You must constantly eliminate. Okay. Another thing that you must understand is negative mindsets. Negative mindset. Mindsets are created by experiences as well. Mindsets are created by experiences. Mindsets are created by beliefs. What are your beliefs? Remember, we talked about your belief system. And what are the things that affect belief in our world today? Our religious bodies are very critical to our belief system. So we have some people who believe now that education is wrong, and they call their names Boko Haram. And because they say education is wrong, it's a sin, what they are doing is all the children around them, they will be telling them it's not good to be educated. That means that those people already have been subject to a life that will be backward because their mindset is that you should not be educated. How can they compete in a 21st century when you say that it's not good to be educated? So remember, your mindset affects the way you think. And if you're in a religion that tells you need to keep building yourself, if you have a faith system that tells you need to build, and that's one of the things you see about Christianity. God, from the Bible, you know that the Bible is a book not just written to Christians, but written for the entire people of the world. It tells you need to build yourself. You need knowledge. You need to improve your capacity. And the more knowledge you have, the more ability you have to handle life. That's where you get your belief system from. So your belief system affects your mindset. It affects your ideology about life. Another way you have people who have negative and poor self-image, it stems from abusive relationships. Now, so I have seen a lot of young girls suffer from this because they get into relationships with the opposite sex that just pulls them down. Some of us some may have come from families where you have seen your parents abuse each other. Fathers abusing wives, and mothers abusing fathers, and the children grew up in that kind of environment. they have abusive mindset. In themselves, they already feel that there's something wrong with relationship, that you cannot have, So when I see people who go through marital challenges, one of the first critical questions I ask is that, do you have children? If you have children, please, the first and the most important people to consider is the children, because whatever you do in that relationship will create a mindset for the children. It will affect their image. Some of us grew up having to struggle with self-image that we took from our home because of the way our parents handled their relationship. Some of us entered into boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that have abused you. A boy that keeps telling you, you can't live without me. And so many women, I recently, not recently, I think from almost 2 years now, visited Yaba Psychiatric Hospital. And believe me, I was shocked. Most of the women that are there in the psychiatric hospital, by the time, because I went to see the head of the nurse there, and she was telling me most of the people here are here on relationship matters. My husband took another woman, another slept without her. People emotionally, outrightly out of control. They go into depression, and depression is a psychology, a psychiatric issue. And so abusive relationship can affect self-image. And we must be careful about that. That's why you have no business being in a relationship that is abusing you. But I don't spend time on that because we still have the module of relationship, and we'll talk about that in detail. And then again, the absence of a spiritual connectivity leads to poor self-image. If you do not have a relationship with God, you're going to have poor challenge with yourself, because everything around you is seeking to tell you that you are not good enough. You go online, you find all kinds of things that people abuse your personality. And so if you do not have a proper relationship with God to see yourself from the perspective that God sees you, who is your creator, you are most likely going to have a low self. And these are the issues that we must be careful. These are the things that affect your personality. This is why you find people who struggle for many years in their life with issues. Some are academics, not because they're not brilliant people, but because growing up, they have been told that they are stupid. Your teacher has consistently told you that you are not good enough, and they compare you with another person. You get home, your parents also compare. Can't you see this person's child? She's always getting the first and then you are constantly battling with things in your mind that tells you that you are not matching up to the image that is expected. The world creates a world view and tells you to fit into it. And then if you don't fit into it, you feel like you are down, you are low, there is nothing good about you. These are the things that create negative self-image. But we're going to look at how to deal with it. We're going to look at how to deal with negative self-image as we go into this second arm of this study. Okay, so we're going to be talking about change and behavioral change and change results. And I want to invite one of our facilitators and our team members who is a professional in this area of change management, behavioral change management. Mr. Adeleke, are you online? Mr. Adeleke, if you're online, please unmute and let me hear you.
Yes, I'm here, ma'am. I'm here, ma'am.
Mrs. Adeleke, please. Mrs. Adeleke, Mrs. Adeleke.
I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I want to hand over to you to handle this part. Kindly go ahead. I will help you with the slide. Is that fine?
I didn't hear you very well, ma'am.
I said it's time for you to take the behavioral change. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so take over the class. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, is it okay if I have to do video, right? I'm trying to get a better place here.
If you can see the slide, just go ahead and speak to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. This is called the behavior iceberg. Like she mentioned about, personality, discovering yourself. You also have to understand that there's some kind of behavior that you put on that actually makes discovering yourself difficult if you don't work on them. Some of these things is what I will put together and call self-awareness. If you're discovering your personality, you're discovering your purpose in life, you also have to understand that there's some behavior. So I don't know if we're all Christians here, but I'm going to give an example. For example, remember when God told Moses that the Israelites needed water? I'm sorry if I'm panting. I was running upstairs. God told him that the Israelite needed water. And he said, Moses, strike the rod once. But Moses struck the rock 3 times. Why? Because he was hungry. And why was he hungry? The behavior that Moses put out there was from the place of disappointment with the children of Israel. But the emotions that came out of Moses was anger. So this iceberg actually shows that some of the things we see in our lives are the behaviors, the emotions, and the results. The reason why the line on the emotion is falling on the emotion is because sometimes some people don't even see your emotion. What they see is just the behavior. A person who procrastinates, a person who doesn't complete whatever it is they start. That's what we see. That's what you see yourself as a person. But there are some emotions that are driving this behavior that are leading to whatever result you have in your life. The result might be failure. The result might be maybe destruction of maybe family ties because of the kind of behavior you're putting out. So let's now look at it. The reason why we call it a behavior iceberg is that the things above, which are the tips of the iceberg that we can see, that's what we see, that's what everybody sees. But if you look below that iceberg, if you look below the water level, what you can see is thinking, value, and beliefs. Those are the ones that are invisible to everyone. Most of the time, if you're not self-aware, these things are also invisible to you yourself. You have a lot of people all around you. They have different perspective of you. You have 20, 50 people complaining about some things you do, but you refuse to change because you're not seeing those things. You're not seeing the thinking pattern. You're not seeing the limiting beliefs that you have. I will give you another example to understand this. A woman that let's say a woman that went to do a mugwo with her daughter, and in the process, she noticed that the daughter wanted to go out, and the daughter was wearing a revealing clothes. And all of a sudden, the mother was like, "Why are you wearing something this revealing? You're now a married woman." Number one, look at the belief of the mother. She's coming from a place of a married woman do not dress anyhow. That is her belief, which actually shaping her thinking pattern. But at a point, all of a sudden, the daughter said, "My husband likes it." Immediately, the mother said, "Oh, sorry, since your husband likes it, leave it that way." Something changed in the woman. Her thinking pattern changed. And what was the belief she was holding on to? The belief she was holding on to was that a wife must obey the husband. Look at the drastic and quick change in the belief and the thinking pattern of the mother-in-law. So these are some of the things that go on in our life. If we want to change our behavior, it has to start from our roots. Please let me take you to the behavioral tree. Thank you. It has to change from the roots. So that is where the behavioral tree comes in. Look at the tree. Look at the left side from your screen. You can see observed behavior and identifying feelings. You are seeing an emotion of anger in your life. You are seeing an emotion of maybe betrayal, sadness. A lot of people are depressed, and it's leading to a behavior that everywhere you go to, you cannot respect anyone, or is affecting your business. People are complaining about your customer service. The first thing you need to look at is go downward and discover your belief. You have to, first of all, change your belief system. It is from your belief system that your values will change. If you believe that women do not speak in public, then it will shape in your value. And because of that, you will not want to develop yourself as a woman. I'm talking to the female now. You will not want to develop yourself. If your belief system is that every husband are always laid back, they don't work, they just wake up in the morning and tie wrapper, it will affect your value of being a responsible father or a responsible husband. So the first thing you must do in life is change your belief. And what are the things that actually affect our belief? There are 4 different things, 4 E's, capital letter E, 4 E's that we can use to change our belief. These 4 things are also the things that affected our belief in the first place. Number 1 is your environment. Number 2 is your exposure. Number 3 is your education. Number 4 is your experience. These 4 things actually shape your belief in the first place. So if you want to twist it back and you want to change your behavior, the first thing you do, change those 4 things. Change your experiences. Change the kind of environment that you are in. It will take you to change a lot of friends. It will change you to educate yourself more on some things. You have to unlearn some things and relearn some things. And that is what Value Academy is all about as well. In the process, you'll be learning productivity. It's changing your beliefs. It's changing your values. And in the process, your emotion will change. No more anger. Now you are happy because there's a particular level of knowledge that you have gained in Value Academy, or whatsoever experience you expose yourself to, whatsoever education you decide to say, okay, I want to go into this education to shape in my belief and my values. In the process, your emotions will change. And in the process, what do you think will happen? Your behavior will change. And when your behavior change, what will happen? The results that we can see, that you can see, they will change. So the first thing you do, I don't want you to miss this. In changing your behavior, the first thing you need to do is change your beliefs. Change your belief system, change your experiences, educate yourself more, change your environment. If you have to leave some friends or live where you stay, change your exposure. If you are exposed to too much of social media, the value and the emotions that will come out of you will be social media. So change all those things. And then in the process, your feelings, your emotion, you're no longer angry, you're no longer procrastinating, you're no longer doing some negative things because your belief and value system have changed. And that is what Value Academy will do to you as well. As you pay attention to all the things that you're going to be taught by all the facilitators, they will change your value system. Because your background does not necessarily have to put your back to the ground. I say it again, your background does not necessarily have to put your back to the ground. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. You can change your value system and move away from whatever slum that you stay, or move away from whatever environment that you are in. And in the process, you will change your behavior. And not just your behavior, your results will change. And then based on what Succour for Nations is doing, your nation will be changed because it starts from you. Thank you very much for having me. If you have any question, you can put it in the chat box. We'll look into it and answer your question. Thank you very much, Advocate. Thank you, ma'am. We can't hear you, ma'am.
I'm muted. Thank you. Thank you so much. The detailed explanation of the behavioral change process. So now we know that if you're going to change this negative, if you're going to change this negative self-image, and I needed to see the understanding or the connection between what we have talked about earlier and what Mr. Deleke brought in. You see that number one, we're talking about who are you? Why have you been created? What are you? What are your unique competences? What are the things you need to? What I think you've been talented with naturally? What are you acquired? You have acquired over the years, And once you are able to put that together, then I say, are there reasons why you are not? What you have a poor perspective of yourself? She talked about self-awareness. I believe self-awareness is a critical thing. I recently was engaged by Green Spring Schools to do this kind of training for their year 10 age. I think they're all about 15. And I can tell you, it's so important. Self-awareness is so important. And it begins from our teenage age. The moment you're a teenager, you are aware of yourself. And you become very, and the more you are aware of yourself, the more you develop yourself. So if you don't understand who you are, some people do things, and you'll notice that people ask, why do you act like this? Give me job, I don't care. That's not there. If somebody tells you, if people are telling you, look, you keep doing this over and over again, this is not good. It means you need to pay attention to your practice. And she has told us the approach to it is don't just be bothered about what people think. Look at what is underneath, what is in the background, what is not obvious is your thinking. It's so important. You think before you act. What leads to your thinking is your values. What are the values you have in about life? And then what fuels your values are what are your beliefs. So we see a lot of problem. People who have cultural beliefs. Those who have cultural belief systems, those who believe, in some, I was saying some time ago, so in some culture in Nigeria, they will tell you that a person, man cannot own business or cannot have her own money. So you find men who believe in that, women must not be big. If you allow a woman to be big, she will show you perfect. Okay. So they perpetually work on keeping their women under. If you by mistake marry that kind of person as a woman, you just have to be under. You cannot do anything for yourself. And if for any reason you are even a woman who shares that kind of opinion that in my place, if you get married, just sit down. The husband will give you money, is the one that will go work, he will provide the money. The me is just to cook for the children, and then you are still I'm the housewife. Then it means you have sentenced your life to a life of just being under. And you will not be able to say there's anything to you. You cannot, nobody, you will not be known for anything. You will just be there and in the shadow of, and that's all. Not that being a housewife is bad, like get me right. If you think that is why God created you, and that's why your purpose is, maybe you are supposed to just raise unique and special children, and you think you need to dedicate that, why not? But you need to be able to say, this is what I love, this is who I am, this is what I've been created. This is, I want to be able to solve problems of raising children and being a housewife. Perhaps from being that housewife, you can become a leading housewife, that you can become an example to other wives and show them how to be a good mother, a good wife, a good, So those are the real things. It's not just that you just say, there's nothing to me, let me just be enjoying my life. All you do as a housewife now is you just sit down and watch all the keywords on TV, and you sit down and you just, that would not be a life of meaning. And I can tell you, in no short while, such women become challenging. They are the ones that will frustrate their husband because they are tired, they are bored, they fight, they talk with them, they know everything happening in the community, so they are jobless. So they are the ones that will be giving problems on the street here and there. So these are things that we must know. And I hope this class has been able to help you. First, I would like to take your questions. So if you have questions, you can put up your hand now. The questions will also help us to give more light. So any area you're not sure or you don't agree with something that we have said, or you need more insight to it, so it's time. The next, we have another 10 minutes to take questions and answers. And then if you have, you want to put your questions in the chat. And please, like I mentioned before, we're going to have a feedback assessment form. And the assessment is the questions that are supposed to be personal to you. So you're going to be answering those questions as it relates to yourself. So it looks like we have no question, we have no comment. Okay, so let me tell you one of the things. When I see a class like this and there's no question, it tells me one of two things. Did I have people who are too afraid to be themselves? They are too afraid to speak. Or people who are over careful and are bothered about what will people say about me if I talk. Or people will say, why should I be the first person? Abdulatif, this class will be put on our YouTube platform, so you can access it on YouTube. We will give you the link to it. You can access on YouTube. That's what we do. In fact, from today, at the end of each class, we will upload to our YouTube So you can go back and listen again. You can listen to the class again, but we will not send you the materials. You will go back and listen again. And that's why I said at the beginning that you should take notes. Things you want to ask, please take notes of them. We are here to help you and we appreciate your questions. Okay? If we don't have any question or you don't have any comment, great. I think Mr. Deleke will be here. He will take over for me now. Will give us a short brief on our social media handles so that you can follow us on our social media handles and then YouTube, and you can get our resources there. And then we take a break, or a 5-minute break, after which we come back and take the second class of today. After the break, we are also going to have, we're going to have a short game that we will take before the beginning of the second class. So we're coming. Mr. Deleke, please let me give you a chance to speak to the social media matter, and then we can take a break. Over to you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so very happy to have you here, and we celebrate you passionately. Thank you for giving us the time to impact your life. We are so very grateful. So I just want to talk briefly about our social media handle, especially the YouTube channel. Any of our content, there's a lot of content on our YouTube channel. Yeah, there are content on our YouTube channel that can benefit you even more in detail than any other content you might be seeing anywhere, because we place value on people, because we value people. So I would like everyone here right now to go to our YouTube channel to go and subscribe. That's where you can get all our content. That's why we are putting this class on our YouTube channel.
Can you just put the link in the chat?
Our YouTube channel, okay, I'm going to put the link right now as I'm speaking to you. I'm going to put it in the chat room, and I would like everyone to go and subscribe. All right, so I'm doing that right away. Okay. Okay, can we check our chat room now? I'm dropping it right away. Yes, chat. Okay. All right. All right, it's there right now. So everyone should go and click. Just click subscribe, where you're going to see a lot of our content there. We're on Facebook also, Succour for Nation. Likewise, we're on Instagram, Succour for Nation. Likewise, on YouTube, you see Succour for Nations. So it's so very simple. I would like every one of us to subscribe now, so that you won't say that like someone requesting for the materials and all those things. Going back to listen time after time will be very impactful for you. If we give you the materials, you might not read it. You can just read it once and just drop it on one side. But going back to watch the video over and over is going to bring a lot of impact on you. So I would like everyone on this group right now.
Mr. Deleke, you didn't send the link. You have not sent the link to the platform. No, you sent it to me directly. You sent it to me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me do that right away. Okay. All right, so I'm doing that right away now. Okay. So it's there. Can you see it?
Yes, we can. Yes.
All right. So just click on it. Then subscribe.
All right.
Subscribe. I'm waiting for everyone to subscribe.
Okay, Mr. Deleke, one more thing. I need you to, let's give everybody a chance of 5-minute break. The other time you were trying to give us music, but we didn't hear the audio. So please give us music, because we are not exiting, we are not closing this platform. If you want to quickly take a break, you can go. In another 5 minutes, we're going to start our game, and then we'll go to the second class. So over to you, Mr. Leke. Give us music, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.